Hong Kong's chief executive says he's willing to hold talks with the demonstrators who've camped out for days now in the city's financial center, but he says he will not step down.
And I'm now appointing the Chief Secretary to represent Hong Kong government to meet with the representatives of the Hong Kong Federation of Students to discuss constitutional development matters. Only do we follow the provisional basic law and the decisions of the NPCSC can we have universal suffrage in 2017.
Students are demanding more freedom on choosing the candidates for Hong Kong's next leadership election in 2017. They also want that chief executive to resign. Beijing has supported the Hong Kong leadership. And Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi called the protests illegal when he met with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. He also urged protesters to go home. And we spoke to Martin Jacques for his insight on the Hong Kong protests. He's a senior fellow at Cambridge University, also author of the book, When China Rules the World, The End of the Western World and the Birth of a New Global Order.
There's an idealistic notion amongst a section of the Hong Kong Chinese, that, well, if we should elect whoever we want to, and if that's someone who, for example, is against the Chinese government, well, it doesn't matter. So, because let's test the boundaries, and I think that's a minority section of opinion. For 155 years, the British ruled Hong Kong, and they never ever introduced universal suffrage. There were bits of suffrage, but they never introduced it. So Hong Kong under the British was never a democracy. The issue in the British mind about about the issue of democracy only became present when the issue of the handover arose. In other words, for the British, it was not important to have universal suffrage when they ruled it. But when the handover came, it became an issue. And I think this is very important to recognize. It was the Chinese government that gave Hong Kong the opportunity of electing their chief executive by universal suffrage. And so the question of democracy in this new form came when came with the Chinese, not until the handover. The other point to say is one country, two systems also granted Hong Kong a level of autonomy which they had never experienced before under British rule. So a whole set of new opportunities were opened up by the handover. Now, I don't think really this is properly appreciated by too many Hong Kong Chinese. Now China's modernization has gone a long, long way. And so Hong Kong has to think, what is our place with China, in China? And you are privileged to be part of the most dynamic, expansive economy in the world. Take your place in it. And so it's very important that Hong Kong stops being standoffish in relation to China and embraces it while also enjoying the fact that it has these special rights under one country, two systems.
That was Martin Jacques, fellow at Cambridge University and an author.